Now we are going to discuss some tools and equipments used in carpentry. First one, steel rule. Rules are straight edge of steel engraved in millimeters, centimeters or in inches or in both. These are used to mark, measure the length, width and thickness of the wood part. The next one is tri-square. Tri-square is generally utilized for measuring and checking of perpendicularity. The steel blade and metallic or wooden handle of tri-square are at right angles to each other. It is also used for marking lines across the face or edge of the wooden block. The next one is bevel square. Bevel square is mainly used for marking, measuring and inspecting angles from 0 degree to 180 degrees. Each blade can be adjusted and set to any desired angle. The next one is marking gauge. The marking gauge is made of wood, which is important tool utilized to make lines at a uniform distance from the edge of a board or piece of work. It consists of a wooden stem on which slides a wooden stop. The next one is mortise gauge. This is an important form of marking gauge which consists of two marking pins, one fixed near to the stem and the other attached to the brass sliding bar. The next one is hand saw. Hand saw is designed for cutting across the grains of wood. The teeth are knife shaped and bent alternatively to the right and left for making the saw to cut wider than the blade. The saw cut is called the kerf. The next one is tenon saw. It is used for fine accurate work such as cutting shoulder to tenons and when straight short cuts are necessary. It consists of very thin blade. Its teeth are shaped like an equilateral triangle and is suitable to cut across the grains. The next one is compass saw. Compass saw carries a tapered blade which is one of the special saw having thin, narrow and flexible blade. This type of saw is commonly used for cutting curves on inside or outside surface of the piece of the wood. Its blade contains about 10 to 12 teeth per inch. The next one is firmer chisel. Firmer chisel possesses a blade of rectangular section. It is a general purpose chisel which is used for taking wider cuts and finishing flat surfaces inside the grooves. The next tool is metal jack plane. Metal jack plane is used for shaving or smoothing the wood surface. The main working parts are the cutting blade or the plane iron. The adjusting nut is operated to raise or lower the blade and the adjusting lever which regulates the blade so as to make possible an even or slant cut. The next one is spoke shave. It is mainly used for planing and shaping curved shapes on the edges of the workpiece. While working, it is held in both hands and either pushed or pulled as convenient. Next one is bradawl. Bradawl is used for making fine holes, especially nail holes in soft woods. The next one is auger. The auger is a carpentry hand tool made up of steel bar and is used to make holes in the wooden jobs. It possesses a screw point to center the tool at the point where the hole is to be produced in the wooden part. Fluted body of the auger is to allow removal of wooden chips from wooden jobs using handle to apply pressure to rotate the auger for making the hole. The next one is braces. A brace is a device used for holding and rotating a bit for producing holes in wood. Two types of braces are commonly used, ratchet brace and wheel brace. The next one is mallet. A mallet is a short-handled wooden hammer with a large head. It is used to strike a chisel for heavy cutting waste wood from joints such as mortises and halving joints and also for removing unwanted wood on shaped work etc. Mallet is frequently used to tap parts of a project together during the assembly process. The next one is claw hammer. In claw hammer, one of its end possesses curved claw which is used for extracting nails in order to provide the extra strength needed for this levering action. The other end is used for light striking work. A strong handle on claw hammer is always necessary for carrying out the task. Next one is carpenter vise. Carpenter vise is very important tool in woodworking shops for holding wooden jobs. There are several varieties of vices, each possessing its own particular merit. The next one is a sash clamp. It is also called B clamp or T clamp. It consists of a steel body having T section. The next one is G clamp. G clamp is also called C clamp. One of the jaws of the G clamp is rigidly fitted with the body while the other is movable by turning a screw. It is used for holding small work pieces. Next one is files. Files are used for maintaining other woodworking tools and equipments. They are made of hardened tool steel which is tempered and they should never be dropped as they are very brittle to break. They are of various types depending upon their size, shape, cuts and degree of their coarseness. The next one is rasp. A rasp is also known as a wood file. It has sharp cutting teeth on its surface and is used for shaping and cleaning up curved surfaces, corners, etc. Screwdriver. Screwdriver is used to drive the screws into the wood. The tip of screwdriver should be slightly hollow ground so that it will fit accurately in the slot in the screw head. The next one is pincer. Pincers are commonly used for withdrawing nails. They are made of cast steel, the jaws being hardened. The last one is oil stone. It is used for sharpening the edges of the cutting tools. They are blocks of natural or synthetic abrasives. Emery, sandstone are the natural abrasives where carborundum, crystolon are the synthetic abrasives. Next, we are going for the demonstration of the work. We have two experiments in carpentry. The first one is planing practice and the second one is close half joint. For that, we need a wooden workpiece like this. In experiment number 1, planing practice, we need to plane the given workpiece into a dimension of 300 mm length, 50 mm width and 30 mm thickness. Also, we need to finish the surface of this wooden workpiece. First of all, fix the workpiece in the bench vise like this. Bench vise is a device used for fixing or holding the workpiece. It has a fixed jaw, a movable jaw and a lever to adjust its gap. We only fix half of the workpiece in the bench vise and the remaining half will be projecting out. Now take the jack plane tool for planing the surface. We should approach the workpiece from the right hand side. Every surface should be equally planed by applying equal pressure. After that, remove the workpiece from the vise and check the flatness or the straightness of the surface using a steel rule. We are checking the flatness of the surface at three different points, at two ends and at the middle. Also, check it longitudinally. Repeat this procedure till the surface is flat. Now, one side is completed, so mark it as a reference side using a pen or pencil. Then go for the next adjacent side. Now, fix the workpiece in such a way that the finished surface should touch the fixed jaw. Plane the second side of the workpiece using the jack plane tool uniformly. Now, check the flatness of the surface using a steel rule as we done earlier. We need to check the perpendicularity of the two planed surfaces using a tri-square tool. We need to fix the stock of the tri-square at the reference surface while checking the flatness. Checking should be done at 3 different points of the surface. Repeat this procedure till the second surface becomes flat. After that, mark it as second finished surface using a pen or pencil. Till now, we have completed planing of two adjacent sides. Now we are going for the third side. Before planing the third side, we should check the dimensions of the workpiece using a steel rule. Here it is showing 47 millimeters, but our required size is 46 millimeters. So we need to remove extra 1 mm from this side. For that, first we are using a marking tool. Set 46 millimeter in marking tool using a steel rule. Mark it on the surface by holding the workpiece tightly like this. We can see the marking here. Do the same with the opposite side also. We can see the markings here. Now plane the surface uniformly using a jack plane tool up to the marked portion. After that, check the dimension and flatness of the surface using a steel rule. Now it is at 46 millimeters. So go for the fourth side. Now we need to reduce the thickness to 26 millimeters. For that we are using a marking tool. Set 26 millimeters in marking tool using a steel rule as we done earlier. Mark it on the fourth side. Now fix the workpiece in the vise and plane the surface up to the marking. All the four surfaces are planed. Now check the length of the workpiece. If it is more than 300 mm, reduce it to the required size. For that, mark 300 millimeters on the workpiece using a steel rule, and using tri-square, mark lines around three sides of the workpiece. Fix the workpiece in the vise, and using a hand saw, remove the extra part along the marked line like this. Check dimensions of the workpiece. Our first experiment, planing practice, is done now. Next we go for the second experiment. For that we need to cut the workpiece into two halves of 150 mm each. Mark 150 millimeter at the center of the workpiece using a steel rule. After that, lines around three sides using tri-square. We can see markings on the three sides. Now fix the workpiece in the vise and cut it along the marking using a handsaw tool. Now we got two wooden pieces of equal size, that is 150 millimeter length each. For making a cross hafted joint, first of all mark a point at the center of the workpiece. After that, take the width of the other part. It is nothing but 46 millimeters. Mark 23 millimeters to the left and the right of the center mark equally. Mark lines using a tri-square on the three sides of the workpiece. Now take 26 mm thick side. On that side, mark midpoints, that is 13 millimeters at two different points transversely. Draw a straight line connecting these 2 points using a steel rule. Do the same procedure on the opposite side of the workpiece. Do the same markings on the second wooden workpiece as we done earlier. The joint is coming like this. We need to remove this extra marked portion from the workpiece. For that, fix the workpiece on the vise. Using a hand saw tool, cut along the marked portion. Do the same with the other side also. Remove the workpiece from the vise. Now fix the workpiece like this. Then using a firmer chisel and a mallet tool, chip the extra material from the workpiece. First mark a line along the marking using a chisel and mallet tool, and remove the unwanted parts in small quantities. Remove the workpiece and fix it upside down. Do the same procedure with the new side. Now fix the workpiece like this and finish the surface using the chisel and mallet tool. Check the flatness of the surface using a steel rule. Do the same procedure with the second piece of workpiece. Check the flatness of the surface using a steel rule. Now the two pieces are ready for joining. Join the two pieces like this. Hammer it with a mallet for proper fit. Cross halved joint is ready now. After all, keep the tools back and clean the workplace properly.